Okay, today we're gonna be watching Drake's sentence for Kendrick Lamar's murder attempt. Goodbye forever. Off the bat, I know this is cap, but I gotta watch it.
Closing in, he could be facing a massive sentence and the end of everything.
Hold on.
I've got all the
I'm a bot. Let me start this over.
What that got to do with Kendrick?
Well, I'm not
He
saying it
got
has
shot
anything to
where?
do.
In Canada?
What started as a lyrical feud has now exploded into something way darker. Kendrick Lamar just survived a murder attempt, and the trail is pointing straight to Drake. With a federal case closing in, he could be facing a massive sentence and the end of everything. I've got all the details. Let's break it down. When the beef got bloody. The tension between Drake and Kendrick had been building for over a decade, but when it finally exploded, it did so with the force of a nuclear bomb. The spark that lit this powder keg came when J. Cole tried to play peacemaker, talking about the big three of hip-hop on Drake's first-person shooter. But Kendrick wasn't having none of that sharing.
Crazy because like one bar started this whole beef. All right. I mean, obviously it wasn't the beginning of everything. But it definitely like was a Kickstarter for that. Can you imagine one bar? And one bar like where it seems like he was paying homage, right? Hold on, sorry, I'm a really awkward person. This mic is all right. One bar where it seemed like he was paying homage. Sorry, that word too is just too fancy. and then you know, the more you look into it, and then the bars that they keep throwing at each other all over the years, there's videos online explaining it, but like it's just wild that like it was like the what he erupted the volcano, just one little bar. It's like man, started it was like the big three, like we already mentioned that, but it's crazy. If Drake goes to obviously he didn't go to jail, simple Google search will knock that off the bat, but that after all these years, that's what they're gonna arrest bro for. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to put my tinfoil hat thing, but like the conspiracy theories with the whole exentacion thing, a little sus.
The crown bullshit when Kendrick spit that fire verse on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That in March 2024, rejecting the big three notes.
That's another thing too, is like his response was low-key diabolical. No glazing, I'm just being honest. Like bro is like, motherfuck the big three, nigga. It's just big me, nigga. Boom, like that. That to me is crazy. I don't know. That's
with the big three. It's just big me. He wasn't just dissing Drake. He was declaring war on everything the Toronto superstar represented. Drake stepped up to the challenge with pushing.
Yeah, and nothing is like Kendrick is a very intentional person too. So it's like you can, you know what I'm saying, like obviously there was a lot of intention behind him saying that, because he knows if he would have said thank you, him knowing how much he does not like Drake as a person, just like being tied into that when he didn't ask for that, it's like, hey, he's like basically in his perspective, he's like, don't say my name, yo, whatever the y'all got going on, y'all keep that away over there. But y'all ain't on my level. That's what Kendrick Lamar was basically saying. It's like, I'm better than y'all, right? And in my opinion, I think he is. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I'm better than y'all. Y'all stay up in y'all own little category. Don't tie me into that.
And that controversial tailor-made freestyle using AI voices of Tupac and Snoop. But nothing could have prepared the hip-hop world.
Oh my God, yeah, I remember that. The whole I mean, to be honest, like, it is very distasteful and like it just comes off weird. But I'm pretty sure, not to defend him or anything, I just think that the AI thing, it was kind of lame, obviously. But I don't think it was as bad as people were painting it to be in general. Obviously, it's still something whack to do. Like, you don't want to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just corny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for the surgical precision that Kendrick was about to unleash. Kendrick came back at Drake's disses with Euphoria on April 30th, a 6-minute murder session produced by Soundwave and Jack Antonoff that went straight for Drake's throat, questioning his authenticity, his parenting, his fashion sense, and even his right to say the N-word. But real ones knew this was just Kendrick warming up.
What I like was he was speaking on people writing for Drake. Beam is a producer and a songwriter. He also called out Drake for using AI diss. To diss him in the tailor-made freestyle.
This track had Kendrick calling Drake a master manipulator and habitual liar, referencing Drake's work on the HBO show Euphoria. But Kendrick was just getting started. He had way more smoke for Drake's ass.
He dropped 616 right after Euphoria. We weren't expecting that just because of the way Kendrick puts out music. We wasn't expecting a back-to-back.
Right.
Then Drake comes with Family Matters, which is I think is phenomenal.
A few days later, Kendrick dropped 616 in
me
LA.
too. I'm not gonna lie, like if I'm being 100%, how I think everybody did during the whole beef, I definitely think that Drake definitely like tried his best. I feel like even with Family Matters, just like how Charlamagne the God just said that's phenomenal. Like, I think the beat switches were amazing. I think the only problem with Drake, outside of him being like low-key like kind of creepy and potentially a pedophile, I think that the thing is that Drake lacked focus in that entire thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like he needed to go at too many people at once when it was just like one person, Kendrick Lamar, who's going back at him, or like, in my opinion, who was like the worthy opponent. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the thing is that he had all these funny jokes, but I feel like they all fall flat when you got like Kendrick like coming at your neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a like I don't know if this is gonna be a bad analogy, but in my head it's like a bunch of people are threatening you, and then one person is punching you, but then you're still trying to fight, like physically fight all the people threatening you, and the person who's punching you. It's like, bro, focus. Like, focus, my guy. And then it doesn't help the fact that, like, bro doesn't write his own lyrics, so it's like, even if he would have came back with something career destroying, it's just like Kendrick just doesn't have dirt on it. Just there's like, you can't really get dirt on Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? There's no dirt. You know what I'm saying? Now with Drake, I'd say otherwise. There's too much information out there, whether it be his behavior with young girls, or the like the stealing music, and, you know, like copying people's styles, and then saying it's paying homage. I'm like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Coming with that inside information, claiming Drake's own OVO crew was snitching and feeding him intel. The title was straight up disrespectful too, biting Drake's timestamp format just to show him he could do everything Drake did, but better. But May 3rd, 2024 was when got real deadly. This was the night that showed everybody just how far two lyrical assassins was willing to go to.
And that's another thing too, is like the 616. Like, I wish that bro could put on Spotify, because like these songs, like some of these songs that got released in this whole rap battle, like, were so freaking good. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, like, I don't know, like it is hard not to listen to a song like with the meaning and the lyrics and stuff like that. But like, I'm not gonna lie, like, Family Matters had a great ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love if he would reuse that same beat, or someone else reuse that same beat with different lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I would love to vibe to that beat. You know what I'm saying? The Family Matters beat. And the Not Alike beat, amazing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they replay, like, they, you know, what happens with every good song, it gets replayed. You know what I'm saying? But
prove who really ran these streets. Drake struck first with Family Matters, an 8-minute track with a whole music video where he accused Kendrick of beating on his girl Whitney Alford and cheating on her. Drake even suggested that one of Kendrick's kids wasn't really his, claiming his business partner Dave Free was the real father.
No less than 30 minutes. Kendrick stepped on that record with his own record about Drake's family, Meet the Grams. Then Kendrick turned around and did what we was waiting on Drake to do, and that's give us a diss bop.
But Kendrick was ready for war. Less than 20 minutes after.
that's another thing too, is that imagine if Kendrick Lamar, like when people say stuff like I know it's gonna sound like weird, but like when people say stuff like they try to make fun of someone's like, oh well, you raising a kid that ain't yours. It's like, you know, that's like a noble act, right? Like, obviously, it sounds funny in the moment, but when if someone puts their pride aside and actually raises a kid knowing that it's not theirs, like, that's actually a really awesome thing, because they didn't have to do that, but they're doing it anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. I just felt like bro was just like grabbing at straws when he said that. This is my personal opinion.
After Family Matters dropped, Kendrick clapped back with Meet the Grams, and this was straight up diabolical. He was talking directly to Drake's mom, his pops, his son Adonis, and even some daughter that might not exist, telling them all how their son was a fraud and a predator.
When I heard Kendrick, the Meet the Grams record, when he started writing letters to his mom, his dad, and his kids, I said, we got to fight now.
Yo,
we got to fight.
Yo, he literally says to his mom on the record, your son should die.
The cover art had a glove on it, referencing that O.J. Simpson trial, and the title was playing on Drake's government name, Aubrey Graham. This was some psychological warfare type that went way beyond regular beef, but Kendrick wasn't done yet. The next day, he dropped the...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That Meet the Grams was some psychotic shit. Like, and obviously, we're still waiting to hear about if that's his daughter or not. But like, I feel like Drake is low-key the type of person to just like eliminate all like evidence. It's like kind of like Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, eliminate all evidence just because you don't want your ego to be bruised, or you know what I'm saying? Because that is weird. That is super weird, especially if you look more into the whole daughter thing. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying, but like, it gets a little sus the more you look into it.
Bomb that would change everything and ultimately lead to real shooters pulling up to Drake's crib. On May 4th, Kendrick released Not Like Us, produced by DJ Mustard, and this track became more than just a diss. It became a cultural phenomenon and a call to arms. The song accused Drake of being a pet and a culture vulture, calling him a colonizer who was stealing from black culture. The cover art showed Drake's Toronto mansion with red dots on it like offender registry markers, and the music video had Kendrick beating up an out.
You know what? I mean, I get what people were saying about the whole culture vulture, stealing from people. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to defend him, but he is a black man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could sit here and say about how his dad wasn't really in his life and how his mom's white. That's true. But at the end of the day, Drake is a black dude. So, whether if he needs a writer and stuff like that, or what he takes from culture, at the end of the day, yeah, that's true. At the end of the day, I mean, there is a video out there where he's like chilling on, like eating with a couple of friends, and he basically he was just kind of like mocking, like slang and stuff like that. And I'm not associating slang to like a certain color. I'm just saying that, like, you know, like, it just kind of comes off as disingenuous, given the fact that bro, you know what I'm saying, always has a new accent every Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Al Pinata representing Drake's OVO label. This track hit different from the jump. It had that West Coast bounce that made it an instant hood anthem, going straight to #1 with 21 million streams in just 3 days. Eventually, it would get over 1 billion streams, but more importantly, it united the whole West Coast against Drake and created a movement.
Somebody said this, they said this on Joe Budden's podcast. When HBCUs start playing it at fucking homecomings,
Yeah,
and shit,
exactly.
it's imbued in our psyche.
Drake came back on May 5th with The Heart Part 6, trying to deny all of Kendrick's accusations about him being a predator. He claimed he would have been arrested already, if any of that was true, and tried to flip it by...
Which is the worst excuse, or the worst response. Like, oh, if this was true, then I would have been caught by now. Like, that's not how things work, buddy, but go off, sis.
saying he fed Kendrick fake information about having a secret daughter.
And it's not going.
Okay, but if you fed Kendrick fake information, document the whole thing. Because then you just saying that just falls flat. It's like, okay, so you did all of this. You didn't even take a selfie of yourself doing that. You didn't even like vlog it, like, and like, don't get me wrong, you'd be like, oh well, maybe he's not a phone guy. This is Drake. This is Drake, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro could have easily did this. Could have hired a camera crew, and then that would have been boom. You know what I'm saying? Would have made everything that Kendrick Lamar has ever said fall flat. Even if, you know what I'm saying? Even like, yeah, we still have these tapes of Drake being creepy and these pictures and these DMs. But at the end of the day, it would have been, and you know, it still doesn't take away from that. But I'm just saying that would have been like a big up on Kendrick. Be like, hey, we've been feeding you fake information, by the way, and here's a tape of us doing it. You know,
Take me almost 2 days to reply to Meet the Grams and Not Like Us.
Maybe
No.
not. I think you're
No.
giving Kendrick benefit of the doubt because you're a light-skinned hater.
But by then,
it's crazy because, oh my god, I forgot like how that happened, but I remember Drake dropped Family Matters, and then not even 30 minutes, Kendrick dropped. Not even 30 minutes. It's crazy. And he never had. Obviously, he had it predisposed or whatever. You know, sorry, I'm tired. But he had it like. You get what I'm saying? It's wild. That like I feel like they broke history. Like I feel like before that, obviously Eminem and the MGK thing, it was way interesting. But that I've never seen in my life anything like that. I've never seen somebody drop it become viral, and then the person battling against them be like, oh, boom, not even 5 seconds, bro was at, bro didn't even post, Drake didn't even press post yet, Kendrick was like, oh, already. I don't know. I think that this whole beef by Kendrick was very like beautifully executed, and I can't believe it's been a year. Like, wow.
the damage was done. Critics and fans could tell Drake was sounding defensive and tired, like he was ready to give up the fight. The streets had already chosen their side, and it wasn't with the boy from Toronto. But here's where this story gets real scary and shows you just how dangerous this hip-hop can get when people take it too serious. All those inflammatory lyrics and that provocative imagery in Not Like Us was about to have real-world consequences that would shock the entire culture. 3 days after Not Like Us dropped on May 7th, 2024, some real shooters pulled up to Drake's Toronto mansion.
And that's what I'm talking about. And like we can't have like a nice little rap battle without people dying or getting shot. Like, why? Like, bro, why?
And started blasting. This wasn't no joke. This was a drive-by shooting that almost ended somebody's life. According to the court documents that came out later, armed gunmen rolled up to Drake's crib at 21 Park Lane Circle in the middle of the night. Before they started shooting, somebody yelled, "F Drake." Then they opened fire. 2 bullets hit. One went into the front door of the
Bruh, it will never be that deep. Like, what? Like, go home, dog. Like, what you doing all this for a rapper that don't even know you? Like, why? Like, get a job, bro. Go on LinkedIn, man.
mansion, and another one hit Drake's security guard, who got seriously wounded. Drake and his people had to keep the
Can you imagine dying to protect Drake? This PDH file.
security guard alive for almost 30 minutes until the ambulance came, trying to stop the bleeding with towels while there was blood everywhere.
God, dude,
this was
that's
some
awful.
real life or death that showed how rap beef could turn deadly.
I think it was Sluggo who told me that one of them, I think it must have been Drake who was talking about his, he dissed him by talking about his size 7 feet or something, right? And that's fine. I think it's great. If everybody would just like, if the Israelis and Hamas would go after each other in
is
song.
that,
Battle raps.
Yeah, battle raps. Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, dance off.
That's how they should do it.
The violence didn't stop with the shooting either. The day after the shooting, another person tried to break into Drake's property.
That would be funny. Our world leaders, instead of sending innocent people to die in the military, instead of just having a rap battle. And you know what? On a serious note, why do like world leaders just do that? Instead of going to war, why don't they just like fight each other in like a ring? You know what I'm saying? Why don't they just do that instead of sending people to die for resources? That don't make no sense. Like millions of what are we fighting about? I get it, protecting land. I get it, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, what are y'all going on about? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's pointless.
By digging under the security fence. When security caught him, this fool was shouting racist slurs and making threats against Drake before they escorted his ass off the property.
Okay, so were the slurs on his black side or his white side? I'm kidding.
On May 9th, a third incident went down when another trespasser showed up and got into a physical fight with Drake's security team. This person also got arrested and taken to the hospital. While the police said they couldn't confirm if these incidents were connected to the beef, the timing was too obvious to ignore. 3 days after a song drops calling Drake a predator and showing his house with fender markers, and suddenly shooters and crazy people are showing up at his crib, that ain't no coincidence. These incidents marked a turning point where the hip-hop community had to confront some uncomfortable truths about how far this competitive culture could
now
go.
I see why people
Legal
are getting
warfare
out.
and the murder allegations. While Drake was dealing,
I mean, why is that surprising? A predator is facing what they deserve. I don't see how this is a surprise.
with shooters at his crib and people trying to break into his property, Kendrick was out here doing a whole victory lap through the culture.
I feel like it should be legal to, off PDH files. Is that a bad thing to say on YouTube? It's satire, guys. Ha ha.
Kendrick took advantage of all that momentum from the beef with his June 19th, 2024 pop-out concert at the Kaya Forum in Inglewood, where he performed Not Like Us 5 times straight, bringing out West Coast legends like
That is wild, 5 times straight. I mean, the song's good.
Dr. Dre and YG to show the whole world that the West had his back.
I remember right after that interview, and I'd never heard of him before. They had a mixtape that was just kind of buzzing in Atlanta. Birthday Bash happened a couple days later. They ran into Drake. Drake had heard the mixtape. He jumped on Versace, and the Migos took off and never looked back.
The whole event was like one big celebration of Kendrick destroying Drake, uniting the West Coast rap scene and proving that Kendrick was really the king. What really had people talking was how many artists who Drake had put on over the years were now standing with Kendrick instead of showing loyalty to the man who helped make.
Bruh, fuck being loyal, bro. Like to weird people. Like, nah, bro. You pour into what's pouring into you, and the way that Drake raps about like other people's women's, like maybe he's like making advances on them. Like maybe he's like being a weird friend. Like maybe like there's more behind the scenes that we're seeing, or maybe people are just seeing him for who he really is. And yes, like two things can be true at once. Like you can hold someone accountable to their weird behavior and also be grateful for the great things that they did too. I don't see why that's such a hard concept to grab for some people, that two things can be true at once. It's like, for example, like the whole Epstein and the Love Island thing, the show were popping around the same time, right? And then people are like, oh, we should be talking about this. It's like, fam, do you know how many, it's like, we should be talking about the Epstein files instead of Love Island. It's like, like how many times you can post in a day, right? Like you can post multiple times in a day. Like, you can post the same things about Epstein, which is obviously the most important topic. But I feel like some people just like be yapping. It's like bro, instead of yapping about it, why don't you just keep posting to spread more awareness about the whole Epstein thing? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm doing right now. Like simply just talking about it, and I feel like journalists right now should not let it go. Should not let it go. Keep asking him any given second. Keep asking him and asking him and asking him. Like they should not let it go.
Them rich.
You would think. Now, granted, they don't have to.
Let me ask you, do you think Drake needed help?
It's not that he needed help.
He didn't need no help.
It's not that he needed help, but everyone's doing a victory lap with Kendrick, whereas all the people, and none of the people that were there with Kendrick, did Kendrick transform their lives by doing features for them for free and totally transform their career.
Stop.
The message was clear as day.
I know this is a out of context clip, but think for a second. It's like, is Drake really a person that you want to be defending? Just think about it. With everything that you know and everything that, is he really a person that you think that you should be defending? Like willingly, no rage bait aside, trolling aside, dead ass.
Even though Drake had blessed mad artists with features and helped them get their bread up, when it came time to pick sides, the culture chose Kendrick. That had to sting. Kendrick's Not Like Us completely destroyed the 2025 Grammy.
Can people like what is this loyalist talk? It's like, you know, people are allowed to like lose rap battles. You know what I'm saying? Are people supposed to like accept all your shitty behavior just because you did one good thing for them? Like to me that does. Yeah, and I feel like there's also more of the story. It's like yeah, Drake put them on with his audience, but it's like, don't you think that Drake put them on because he knew that he could have gained value from that? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a one-sided thing. It was both sides.
Awards on February 2nd, winning 5 categories, including Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Music Video. This was some historic shit. No diss track had ever gotten this much mainstream love and critical respect. But the real flex came at the Super Bowl Licks halftime show on February 9th,
See, that's crazy. In front of the entire world. You know, imagine in front of the entire world being outed like that. Like, he's like, say Drake. Bro, everybody's watching Super Bowl. Not people don't even care about rap. They're like, oh, who is this? You know what I'm saying? And then looking into this like that, it's wild.
2025 in New Orleans, where Kendrick performed Not Like Us and brought out Serena Williams, who used to mess with Drake, to dance on stage. With 133.5 million people watching, this was basically Kendrick telling the whole world that he had won and Drake was finished. While Kendrick was celebrating and doing his victory dance, Drake was in the cut preparing some legal warfare that would shock the whole music industry and potentially change how record labels handle artist beef forever. On January 15th, 2025, Drake filed an 81-page federal lawsuit against Universal Music Group, the label that reps both him and Kendrick.
As a rapper, why are you suing people?
Claiming defamation and harassment. He alleged that UMG promoted Not Like Us, even though they knew it contained false and malicious claims about him being a pet and trafficker. The lawsuit claimed that UMG's actions directly led to violence and non-stop harassment against Drake, specifically citing the May.
But it's like, you're gonna sue for defamation for things that are true. That don't make no sense.
2024 shooting at his Toronto mansion where his security guard got shot, plus all those trespassing incidents that followed. But the most explosive part of the lawsuit was Drake basically saying that Kendrick's Not Like Us wasn't just a diss track. It was a weapon that inspired attempted murder and nearly got him killed. Drake's lawsuit against...
Bro, he be rapping about mob ties. You talking about he incited violence? No. Come on.
UMG alleges they used bots, payola, and other illegal tactics to artificially boost streams for Kendrick's Not Like Us, which accused Drake of being a criminal. But deep in all that legal paperwork was an even more serious allegation that this whole campaign had directly led to what was basically an attempted hit on Drake's life. According to the lawsuit, the specific imagery used in Not Like Us, especially that cover art showing Drake's Toronto mansion with red markers that looked like offender registry pins, was designed to get vigilantes to target Drake for street justice. Drake's legal...
I feel like it's really simple. If you don't want people to accuse you of stuff like that, or, you know what I'm saying, like, or people to respond to like evidence that we have, so you simply just don't do that. Like, it's that simple.
Team was focusing their attack on UMG's corporate greed, not going directly at Kendrick, but they alleged the label used bots and paid radio stations to pump up the song's numbers. The real they was saying, though, was clear. By promoting and amplifying a song that contained what Drake's lawyers called false and defamatory allegations, and by using imagery that showed exactly where Drake lived, UMG had created a dangerous situation that led straight to that May 7th shooting. The legal complaint got updated in February 2025 to include
UMG
Kendrick's
or
Grammy wins
Kendrick?
and Super Bowl performance, arguing that UMG capitalized on these moments to further damage Drake's reputation. Drake's lawyers claimed that the Super Bowl performance made millions of people believe Kendrick's allegations were facts, which put their client in even more danger. UMG came back swinging hard, denying all the claims and saying Drake willingly participated in rap battles and was just trying to save face after getting his whooped in the beef. They filed papers to get the lawsuit thrown out in March 2025, basically calling it a distraction from the fact that they was just doing their job promoting Kendrick's music and making money. But industry heads started realizing that if Drake's lawsuit actually succeeded, it could completely change how record labels handle artist beef and potentially make them liable for promoting diss tracks that contain serious allegations.
Bro, it is art. You should be allowed to say whatever the frick you want, and if you're on a label, your label should be promoting it. I don't see what the issue, especially if people are interested in what you got going on. What?
Start playing with certain people. We're witnessing this as we speak. When you start puffing
and like consequent actions, bro, actions have consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like things happen. Like people are reacting this way, and Kendrick is saying these things. We didn't make this up. He didn't make this up. This is all from Arrows I'm recording. This is all from like reacting to things that he has done. You know what I'm saying? Like showing up at a kid's basketball thing, kissing Kylie Jenner, kissing a girl on stage, multiple things like in young girls' DMs. Like there's like the rabbit hole goes on and on and on and on and on.
on the wrong cigar, smoke will come. We watch old Puff Daddy play with the wrong people, right? And we watch something get exaggerated to a point to where what people chose to do is now a federal case.
The legal battle raised some real questions about artistic expression in hip-hop and whether artists and the corporate suits who profit from their work should be held responsible when gets real in the streets. Critics and fans had mixed reactions to how far the beef had escalated, with some people celebrating it as hip-hop's competitive spirit coming back, while others was worried about the dangerous precedent this whole situation was setting.
So yeah, top 5 in the street. Presser, Bun, fuck Drake, he got real over there. Top, he got real over there. But them ain't saying what they gonna do or whatever like that.
The case also showed how modern technology and social media had amplified the potential consequences of rap beef. Fans on Google Maps was labeling Drake's Toronto mansion with disrespectful like owned by Kendrick, referencing the song's lyrics, while the song's viral spread meant that inflammatory allegations could reach millions of people within hours. Even while the legal battle was going on, the real-world tensions from the beef kept simmering in the streets. Toronto rapper Top 5, who supposedly has connections to Drake, made public threats against Kendrick, saying he would shoot Kendrick if he comes to Toronto during an interview.
Whoa. Put down the, don't take out the 9, Jamal.
Dude ain't nobody, bro. Dude is nobody. Come on, we watched this same dude get mushed in the face and kicked in the ass.
These threats got even more real when Kendrick and SZA announced they was going on tour and would be performing in Toronto on June 12th at the Rogers Center, right in Drake's backyard. The announcement was basically Kendrick saying he wasn't scared of Drake or his people and that he would perform wherever he wanted.
Well, that's Drake's hometown. How do you think this is gonna go down?
Well, it's obvious. At least we can say, well, at least Drake ain't in control of Toronto because he ain't stopping that show.
As of right now, the main questions from this whole unprecedented beef still don't have answers. The shooting is still under investigation with no arrests made. While the timing and the specific threat made during the shooting suggests it might be connected to the beef, no direct evidence has been presented linking Kendrick or his music to the actual shooters.
What that got to do with Kendrick?
Well, I'm not saying it has
shot
anything
where?
to do
In Canada?
In Canada, yeah.
So you really believe
it has
Kendrick?
nothing to do with Kendrick.
Drake's lawsuit.
Of course not, bro. People gonna do whatever they want to do, and like, it just happens. People just crash out.
is still working its way through the court system, with UMG's motion to dismiss still pending. The outcome could set a precedent for how similar cases get handled in the future and determine whether record labels can be held responsible for promoting music that allegedly incites violence in the streets. Regardless of how the legal shit ends up, the Drake and Kendrick beef has already left a permanent mark on hip-hop culture. It's been compared to historic beefs like Tupac versus Biggie and Jay-Z versus Nas, but with implications that go way beyond just music.
That's what I think it really was.
And
that is crazy in hindsight. It was definitely something like that, because I'm telling you, the entire world was tuned in, or at least my entire circle was. I don't know.
Saying that outside of the creative Kendrick rap battle. Actually, let's not even go any further without just giving a round of applause to both of them.
The beef showed both the power and the danger of modern hip-hop, demonstrating how quickly artistic competition can escalate into real-world consequences, and how the infrastructure of the music industry, streaming platforms, social media, and global distribution networks can amplify conflicts in ways that was unimaginable back in the day. But to understand how this whole deadly situation developed, and why these two kings went from collaborating to trying to destroy each other, we need to go back to where it all started and trace the decade-long buildup that led to this explosive moment in hip-hop history, from day ones to deadly enemies. Before all the shootings, lawsuits, and murder allegations, the rivalry between Drake and Kendrick Lamar actually started as a friendship and mutual respect between two rising stars. Back in 2011, when Drake was already getting stupid bread from his hits, and Kendrick was still that hungry young bull from Compton trying to make it out the hood, they was actually collaborating and showing each other mad love. Kendrick jumped on Drake's 2011 album Take Care with that fire Buried Alive interlude, where he spit some real shit about meeting Drake and the whole dynamic between them coming up in the game. They kept that energy going when they linked up again on Kendrick's joint Poetic Justice, and that $1 AP Rocky banger Problems back in 2012. Kendrick even opened up for Drake on that Club Paradise tour in 2012, so you know they was really rocking with each other heavy at that point. But anybody who'd have been around the block...
We'll say $1 AP? What the heck is happening? I thought bro's name was A$AP Rocky. Yo.
Knows that in this game, friendships can flip faster than a brick in the trap when egos and competition get involved. Looking back at this early collaboration period, it's wild to think that these same two artists would eventually be throwing accusations so serious that they would lead to real violence in the streets. But the seeds of their...
That's crazy. Not to defend nobody, but like, being famous must be like wild, because like your crash outs are just recorded and documented and like never let go, because like a man could change in a short period of amount of time. I'm not saying that he's changed or whatnot. I'm just saying like it's just in hindsight, like in general, like not in per se. But yeah.
Eventual war were already being planted, even during their friendship. The first real crack in their brotherhood came down in August 2013 with Kendrick's legendary verse on Big Sean's Control. Now, this wasn't just some regular guest feature, nah. This was straight up a declaration of war disguised as that friendly competition bull.
You know, he said, I heard it talking to barbershop all the time is who's the greatest, me, Jigga, or Nas, or something like that. You know, and then he mentions Eminem, Andre 3000, and he says, the rest of y'all just new dudes. Just don't even get involved in this. And he never really respected his peers.
On that Control verse, Kendrick called out Drake and a whole bunch of other rappers, straight up saying he was trying to murder them lyrically and basically crowning himself the king of this whole rap. This even had the audience.
And I feel like every rapper should be doing that. Every rapper should feel like they're the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to like always be honing in on your craft and trying to do new things and trying to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like you should feel that way. So like for someone to name drop me, like if I was name dropped and stuff like that, I'd be like, damn, I'm honored, because the fact that bro even thought of me is, you know, an honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to get offended. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you could literally just make like another response back, like keep it going playfully if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
audacity to claim he was the king of New York when he's from Compton. That's some real disrespectful right there. Drake's response showed you exactly what type of time he was on. Instead of coming back with that raw energy, he played it cool in a Billboard interview, basically saying Kendrick wasn't no real threat and calling the whole thing just ambitious. But anybody with street sense could tell that Drake was heated behind closed doors.
I'm gonna be honest with you, disrespectfully, let people know. You know the funny thing is, and I've been realizing about Kendrick. Kendrick is he's like the level of respect or even handle these guys like with any type of decorum. I mean, he's been doing it since Control.
Kendrick doubled down at the 2013 BET Hip Hop Awards cypher, spitting bars that was clearly aimed at Drake, talking about tucking a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. That was a direct shot at Drake's album, Nothing Was the Same. Real ones knew what was up from that moment. For the next several years, these two kept it mostly in the subliminal zone, trading shots without going all the way there. Both artists spent the next decade trading subtle jabs without getting into no direct street. You had tracks like Kendrick's King Kunta from To Pimp a Butterfly and Drake's The Language, but they was keeping it somewhat respectful until 2023.
That's what Drake said on the radio, right? So Drake was like, yeah, run into the guy. He's like, it's not that serious. A couple other people respond. He don't respond to them. So I'm like, all right, he's making a moment.
During this time, Drake was getting into it with other cats in the game. That whole situation with Meek Mill in 2015 where Meek called him out for using ghostwriters. And then that brutal with Pusha T in 2018. That Pusha T beef was some real expose your whole life type shit. When
Pusha T. I can't tell if I'm saying their names wrong my whole life or if like bro is like, you know what I'm saying?
Pusha dropped The Story of Adidon and told the world about Drake's son Adonis. That battle showed everybody that personal family business wasn't off limits in these rap wars. But while Drake was dealing with all that drama, Kendrick was in the cut, watching, learning, and getting ready for what every real hip-hop head could see coming. A full-scale war between two of the most deadly lyricists in the game. The Compton...
Okay. Ain't no way bro just called Drake a deadly lyricist. Like, be freaking for real right now. Like, bro, you got allegations that you don't write your music. You don't write your own music. We got the freaking the demo songs, and you sit here and say one of the deadliest lyricists. Have you lost your goddamn mind?
King was studying Drake's moves, his weaknesses, and preparing ammunition that would eventually lead to real bullets flying. The spark that lit this whole powder keg came in October 2023 when Drake and J. Cole dropped that collab first-person shooter on Drake's For All the Dogs album. In that track, J. Cole was really trying to play peacemaker, talking about him, Drake, and Kendrick.
That song was fire, by the way.
Being the big three of the culture. Like they was all equals running the game together.
J. Cole's been the one trying to like walk in the middle, the little brother, so to speak, the middle child, trying to keep his hands around the two other brothers that really want to go at it. And he's been saying this big three this whole time. Yo, it's big three, it's us, it's us, it's us. Like Kendrick never looked at the whole time was like, who's us?
But Kendrick wasn't having none of that sharing the crown. The beef jumped off for real in March 2024 when Kendrick spit that fire verse on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That, where he straight up
that is weird in hindsight, because like when First Person Shooter came out, you would have never thought like everything that has happened since could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if like you don't even especially if you didn't even know that they were like throwing subliminals to each other and stuff like that. Like to me, that's I just think it's a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because like. In hindsight, like you hear him saying that, it's like, oh snap, he's giving K-Dot his flowers, right? And then K-Dot comes out, it's like, what? The big three? It's just Big Me. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Said, mother, the big three, it's just Big Me. This wasn't just Kendrick rejecting J. Cole's little group hug. This was him telling Drake and everybody else that he was the undisputed king of this shit. Kendrick also came with that comparison between himself and Prince versus Drake and Michael Jackson, basically saying he had more artistic credibility and would outlast Drake in the long run. The track went straight to #1 and stayed there for 3 weeks, letting everybody know this beef was about to be bigger than anything we'd seen. What happened next transformed this from some competitive rap into something that would have real shooters involved and blood in the streets. J. Cole tried to jump in with 7-minute drill going at Kendrick's catalog, but that folded quick and apologized at his Dreamville Festival.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like that was kind of goofy. Like I understand now, right? I understand with everything that happened, why he would do that, but it's like, to me, that's still a little weird. Obviously, we all have free will. Even if you're a rapper, if you don't want to indulge in drama, you don't have to indulge it. But it's like, and yeah, people are allowed to change their minds. It's true, but like, it's just goofy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, and then bro dropped Grippy. Like what are you doing, dog? I don't know. That was just like a fever dream. It was a weird time.
Calling his diss a misstep. That left Drake standing alone, about to face the full fury of one of the most dangerous lyricists to ever touch a microphone. But Drake ain't never been one to back down from smoke. He stepped up to the plate with push-ups, dropping Give Me 50 on April 13th, 2024, coming for Kendrick's height, his pop features, and his whole position in the culture. Then he followed up with that wild, tailor-made freestyle on April 19th, using AI versions of Tupac and Snoop to diss Kendrick. Some real next-level disrespectful. But nobody, and I mean nobody, was ready for what Kendrick was about to unleash on the culture. The Compton King wasn't just planning to win this battle, he was preparing to destroy everything Drake had built and leave his career in ruins. Looking back, all the signs were there that this beef would be different. The way Kendrick had been systematically building his case against Drake's authenticity, the growing support for Kendrick within the hip-hop community, and Drake's increasing isolation in the culture, all pointed to a confrontation that would be unlike anything the genre had seen before.
You know what's crazy? When Like That dropped, I'm like, yo, what is this guy doing? He's not like that.
Yeah.
By the end of the battle, I was like, God damn it, why didn't y'all tell me he was like that? This guy, he's pretty good, man.
The story is far from over. As legal proceedings continue and both artists move forward with their careers, the hip-hop world watches and waits to see how this unprecedented conflict will ultimately be resolved. If you enjoyed this video,
yeah, it's crazy. That is crazy. That academics would say that. I didn't even see that until now. But it's like, that's why you don't want to underestimate people. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you judge people based off of, you know, the past, I guess. But to say that, like, okay, like, think about it for a second. Pre-battle, Kendrick Lamar had banger after banger after banger. He dropped multiple classics. You know what I'm saying? Like, 2 instant classics, you know what I'm saying? And then Damn was also a classic, you know what I'm saying? So what do you mean, like, you didn't know he was like that? I don't know. I definitely do think that, like, this rap beef is gonna go down in history as one of, like, the biggest moments in hip hop, because it is one of the most recent things that have happened in hip hop, and that has kind of like all brought us together. And it's like one of those moments too, like in time where, like, it's like COVID, right? So it's like when someone's opinion on something can really, like, expose, like, who they really are as a person, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's you know what I'm saying, like politics are around COVID time and stuff like that. What's up? Are you late for real though? While I'm making a video? Can I, like, wait till after the video? Wait, that isn't you under the table right now?
No.
Oh, this is awkward.
Let me in.
But yeah, anyways, I don't know. I definitely do think I gotta wrap this video up, not because of just what just happened or anything, you know what I'm saying? I just it's getting late and I have to go to bed now, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love talking about rap stuff. If you guys have any videos, if you even made it this far, it's wild, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what she said. This is probably one of my longest videos. I'm at 47 minutes. God, I didn't even know this was gonna be this long. I don't care. I said what I had to say, and if I miss something, or if you want to tell me I'm wrong or debacle, blah blah blah, you go right ahead in the comments. If you got any advice for me, please let me know. I'm still new at this, and yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching my video.